Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Wednesday, the 13th of September 2023. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this. Millwall's trip to Deepdale has been rescheduled for Sky coverage. Yes, the latest Sky selections, they have chosen Preston North Ends against Millwall. So, Millwall's Sky Bet Championship trip to Preston North End has been rescheduled for live Sky Sports coverage. The fixture will remain on the same date, Saturday the 21st of October, but will now kick off at the earlier time of 12:30 p.m. The ticket details for the Lions match at Deepdale will be confirmed in due course. And there you go. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I know some people, when they go to this game, they like to make a weekend of it and stay in Blackpool. So I don't know if that's going to help you for that. If you're travelling up on the day, it's probably ruined your night. You have to get a bit of an early one on Friday, or just stay awake all the way through, and then crash on Saturday. I mean, when I say crash, I mean pass out asleep, not fall asleep driving down the M1 motorway and crash your car. But there you go. Another game on TV. I think it's for Preston rather than Millwall, because Preston are top of the table at the moment, and they've also had their game with Southampton included in the selection. So there you go. What is it? 5 weeks notice. It is what it is. We know how it works nowadays, don't we? But kind of weird for us to get a Saturday, obviously because it's an away game. I don't think if it was at the Den. When's the last time we had a Saturday midday kickoff at the Den? Don't really do that, do they? No idea why. No idea why, but yeah. There you go. Now, moving on to this from SuffolkNews.co.uk. How Millwall's start to the season compares to previous campaigns. The Lions have rarely gotten out of the blocks quickly since returning to the Championship in 2017. So don't panic, Mr. Mannering, don't panic. So yeah, now he's going to tell us how it's all fine and good that we're playing shit football, because we always play shit football. Millwall have had a mixed start to the new season as they begin the latest pursuit of the Championship playoff spots. Impressive opening day win against Middlesbrough, followed up by back-to-back defeats at the hand of Bristol City and Norwich City. For the Lions turn their form around by picking up 4 points against Stoke City and Birmingham City. 7 points collected, 4 goals scored, 5 goals conceded, in the league position of 12th on what the stats read at this very early stage of the season. It's typical of Millwall's usual middle of the road start, as Gary Rat himself noted. He told the News at Den, "I would probably say it's probably very similar to last 4 seasons in some ways. I don't think we've ever started like house on fire. I don't think we've ever had such a horrendous start. I think we've also always been pretty middle of the road. It usually takes a little bit of time to get going. It usually takes us a little bit of time to find that little bit of consistency for whatever reason. Obviously, we've worked hard for that not to be the case, but it is. I think we made an inconsistency solid start to the season, if that makes sense." News at Den had a look at Mill's previous campaign start since the club returned to the Championship. Compare how their early season form this time around stacks up to previous years. So this was last year. These are the first 5 results. Goals scored 7, goals conceded 8, positions points 7, league position 10th, final league position 8. It's pretty similar to last season. The Lions had the exact same amount of points after 5 games last season, but it's fair to say that the beginning of the 22-23 campaign came with more fireworks. In the space of 4 days, Mill came back from 2-0 down twice, first winning against 10-man Coventry before an even more sensational comeback at Swansea, as the Welsh side conceded 2 own goals in stoppage time. Elsewhere, things went to the form book, with Mill winning at home against Stoke City thanks to debutant Charlie Cresswell, but losing difficult away games to Sheffield United and Norwich City. And our top goal scorer was Charlie Cresswell. None of the strikers had scored in the first 5 games last season. The season before that, here's the results. Started off with 2 draws, then a defeat, and then 2 wins. Goals conceded, goals scored 6, goals conceded 8, points 5, league position after 5 games 17th, final league position 9th. Fans were back in stadium in their numbers after prolonged COVID misery, and Millwall fans had no shortage of goals to enjoy, as both teams scored in all of their opening 5 matches. Whereas Millwall took 3 points in their opening game at Middlesbrough this season, 2 years ago they needed 5 games to get up and running against Blackpool. Jed Wallace was at the centre of plenty of goals at the beginning of the season, while Benicavobu finished with 12 championship strikes, 5 in 2 from the first 5 games, and you can see that the top goal scorers were Jed Wallace and Benicavobu. Before that, again with Stoke. Why do we always play Stoke? Were they on that one as well? No. And draw at Stoke. 1-0 win away at Rotherham. 1-1 against Brentford, and then we will lose to Swansea. Goals scored 5, goals conceded 4, points 8, position after 5 games 7th, final league position 11th. A dreary goalless draw in front of an empty den kicked off 2020-21 as the new COVID-affected season began only 51 days after the previous one. The Lions would once again accumulate 8 points, and Jed Wallace once again led the way in terms of performance. Tom Bradshaw, so often a slow starter in terms of goals, notched up a strike against Swansea up before brilliant Ryan volley grabbed the 3 points, meaning the Lions unusually managed to register 2 away wins before claiming a single home victory, possibly a byproduct of the COVID-induced empty stadiums. And again, the top goal scorer was Jed Wallace. Going back to 1920, not 1920, but 2019 and 2020. Goals scored 4, goals conceded 6, points 8, league position after 5 games 10th, final league position 8th. Millwall had a fairly decent start at the beginning of Neil Harris's final campaign in charge, but that would not prevent the Lions' leisure stepping down in October. The win over Sheffield Wednesday, where Wallace was sent off in the first half, was the final 3 points they would pick up for 8 games until they beat Leeds under caretaker boss Adam Barrett. That difficult run of form contributed to Harris' design to step down, but the first 5 games of the season gave little sign of giving the Lions their joint best points haul from 5 games as any of their 7 championship seasons since 2017. Only that 4-0 loss to Fulham gave any. 2018, goals scored 5, goals conceded. League position after 5 games 16th, final league position 21st. The Millwall's second season back in the Championship will largely be 10 months of struggle despite the club's record purchases. Tom Bradshaw and Ryan Leonard. The highlight will be the tremendous run to the FA Cup quarter-final, but Premier League Brighton needed penalties to prevent Millwall reaching Wembley again. Despite the impressive cup results, league form will be patchy from the very beginning. With only 1 win from the first 5 games, it really should have been 2 victories for the Lions. First season back, in the first 5 games, we scored 8, conceded 6 points. So that only gave us a league position of 17th, final league position 8th. Mill's first season back in the years away would throw up a mixed bag of a start. Most notable would be the 2 games against the major East Anglian clubs, which would produce 11 goals. A late strike by Jordan Spence snatched a 4-3 win for Ipswich. For 11 days later, Mill pulled off a brilliant 4-0 victory over an Irish side who had not long ago been in the Premier League. The 8 goals the Lions registered after 5 games remain their best total since they returned to the second tier. The 2017-18 campaign would also be notable. Mill's club record 17-game unbeaten run and record equaling 6 away wins in a row. And the top scorer there, George Sowell with 2, Jed Wallace with 2. So is that it ends there? I think there's supposed to be more. I think this is supposed to be added up, but for some reason it didn't come through. Maybe it saved the draft of it and then uploaded the draft, not the final result. So average goals scored, no idea. Average goals conceded, but average points 6.5. So, like Garrett said, we're doing what we always do. But which way are we going to go now? And that was literally it. This is like was it a Joker? The guy for the Southern News has pulled the Joker out of the pack to try and come up with a story for today because there's literally nothing. But do not fear, because in 3 days, 11 hours, 5 minutes, and 5 seconds, we will kick off against Leeds United on the Sunday. And can't wait. This international break has been absolutely annoying, boring, just totally unpleasant, isn't it? And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.